What is up, my good friends? I am back once again for a bit of a different video here. Whoops. Now, I think this is the first time I've done a video like this, but with my birthday having passed recently, I figured why not treat myself to something pretty good. That something pretty good is some Pokemon cards. So let's open up the box here. And right here in the front there's a code for Pokemon TCG Live, which I'm more than likely never going to use because I don't play that. I just merely like to collect Pokemon cards for fun. Now, let's see what we have in this first pack, shall we? If I can even get it open. Okay, there we go. Alright. Now that I've got the first pack open, let's see what we have. Ooh, first one's pretty good. We've got Togepi. Touch of Happiness ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may heal 10 damage from your active Pokemon. And it's got the move Rollout. Not bad. Then we have Combee. Honey Courier. Search your deck for an item card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. It's got the move Bug Bite here on this one. Then we have Chatot. Jabberon. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Oh, what's this on the bottom here? A versatile performer skilled in the imitation of human speech is that the older, more experienced Chatot can even understand the meaning of the words they mimic. Alright, then for the Combee, we have the members of the trio spend all their time together. Each one has a slightly different taste in nectar. And then the Togepi. I can't even read what it says there for the Togepi because of the color that they chose for the background for that, but that is okay. Next, we have Psyduck. Flip a coin. If heads, heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. And it's got Ram. Suffers perpetual headaches. If the agony grows too great, Psyduck's power erupts, contrary to Psyduck's intent. Can't really read that too good because the text is too small, but I'm trying my best. Then we got Drifloon, triple spin 10 times. Ooh, flip 3 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each head. Okay, so theoretically, that would mean if 3 heads come up, then that would be 30 damage at max. Okay, very cool. Then we've got this Cypher here, Blinding Scythe. The large, wickedly sharp scythes in its forearms are truly fearsome weapons. Prey's attempts to flee are unfailingly thwarted by this Pokemon's nimble motions. That's what I'm trying to say there. Then we've got Hisuian Arcanine. Ooh. Boulder Crush and Scorching Horn. If this Pokemon has any fire energy attached, this attack does 80 more damage and your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Ooh. Very interesting there. Speaking of fire energy, that happens to be our next card up right here. Alright, next we've got Golduck, Aqua Edge, 50 damage, and Tangled Dye. Discard each player's active Pokemon and all attached cards. You choose a new active Pokemon first. This Pokemon lives in gently flowing rivers. It paddles through the water with its long limbs, putting its graceful swimming skills on display. Alright, then we have a trainer card. This is Grant. During this turn, your Pokemon attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weaknesses and resistance. During your turn, this Grant is in your discard pile. You may discard 2 cards, except any Grant from your hand. If you do, put this Grant into your hand. The effect doesn't use up your supporter card for the turn. Then we have Hisuian Electrode, triple draw, Irritated Bomb, which does 50, and another Pokemon TCG code, which I'm never going to use. Alright, so that's the first pack. Now, let's see what we've got in the second one, shall we? Okay. Alright. Alright, let's get rid of that. Alright, first up in this pack, we have Hoothoot, Stand Sentry ability. Basic energy attached to your bench Pokemon can't be discarded by an effect of your opponent's item or supporter card. It always stands on one foot. It charges feet so fast the movement can rarely be seen. It has Flap for 20 damage. Then we've got Kricketot, Trip Over, Flip a Coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. Meaning it can do 30 damage, but so I'm assuming that means if it's tails, it's regular damage. When its antennae hit each other, it sounds like the music of a xylophone. Then we have Stantler, Guard Press. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks, after apply weakness and resistance, of course. Okay. Then we have a Hisuian Quillfish, Ram and Rolling Tackle. Fishers to test this troublesome Pokemon because it sprays poison from its spines, getting it everywhere. A different form of Quillfish lives in other regions. Then we have another Cypher. You already saw the info on that, so I don't need to go over it again. We have Radiant Heatran, Raging Blast. This attack does 70 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Okay. Then we have Ursaluna, Pete Hunt. Put up to 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. Bulky Bump, 200 damage. Ooh. Then we've got an energy card, which I'm guessing this is for Psychic. We've got Cranidos, Ram and Stone Edge. Ram doing 20 and Stone Edge doing 40 plus. Piloswine, 30 damage for Stampede and 50 damage for Blizzard. This attack also does 10 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Don't apply weaknesses and resistance. If it charges at an enemy, the hairs on its back stand up straight. It is very sensitive to sound. Alright, good to know there. And then we have a Trainer Choi card. Each player reveals their hand, draw 3 cards. You may play only 1 supporter card during your turn. Alright, so that's 2 packs down. And toss this to the side. And see what we have here. Okay, pack number 3. We have a basic Piplup with Bubble. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Okay, I fail to see how that makes sense because Bubble's a water attack. It should not be able to paralyze the opponent's Pokemon. But apparently, rules are different in TCG. Then we've got a basic Duskull. Perplex. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Okay. We've got Farfetch'd with Leak Lash. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it starts off at 20 and then the power goes up is basically what this means. The stalk this Pokemon carries in its wings serves as a sword to cut down opponents. In a dire situation, the stalk can also serve as food. Then we have Execute, Ram and Seed Bomb. Though it may look like it's just a bunch of eggs, it's a proper Pokemon. Execute communicates with others of its kind via telepathy, apparently. Now, you're probably wondering, telepathy from eggs? Well, for those of you who may be new to the Pokemon franchise, Execute's main type is technically Grass. However, Its secondary typing is Psychic. So that's how it can do telepathy. Alright, then we have Grimer. Poison gas. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. The wastewater coming from factories is clean these days, so Grimer have nothing to eat. They're said to be on the verge of extinction. Oh, that's a shame. Then we've got Spiritomb. Ticking Terror. Until the end of your next turn, the defending Pokemon's weakness is now... whatever that symbol is at the end. The amount of weakness doesn't change. Curse Drop. Put 2 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Then we got Lucario. Roaring Resolve for its ability. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, search your deck for a Fighting Energy card attached to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. Then we have Aurora Sphere Volley. Discard all Fighting Energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discarded in this way. Alright. Then we got an Electric Energy with the lightning bolt there. Then we have Weavile. Ransack. Flip 2 coins. If either of them is heads, your opponent reveals their hand. For each heads, choose a card you find there and put it on the bottom of your opponent's deck in any order. Slash for 100 damage. They attack their quarry in packs. Prey's largest mammoth swine easily fall to the teamwork of a group of Weavile. Then we have Trainer Kindler. You can use this card only if you discard a Fire Energy card from your hand. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck and put the 2 of them in your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. And finally, Cafe Master Trainer. Choose up to 3 of your bench Pokemon. For each of these Pokemon, search your deck for a different type of basic energy card and attach it to that Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck and your turn ends. Alright, we have 2 more to go. Okay. And let's put that there. Alright, we start with a Tentacool. Gentle Slap. Its body is 99% water. The remaining 1% contains the organ that makes its poison. Alright, then we have Lotad. Call for Family. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. Then shuffle your deck. Rain Splash. Its leaf grew too large for it to live on land. That's how it began floating in the water. Next up is Teddiursa with Scratch. Before food becomes scarce in wintertime, its habit is to hoard food in many hidden locations. Next we have a Cyrogonal. Element Chain. Look at the top 6 cards on your deck and attach any number of basic energy cards you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Icy Snow. They are composed of ice crystals. They capture prey with chains of ice, freezing the prey at negative 148 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very cold. Alright, then we have Nickit with Tail Whap. Cunning and cautious, this Pokemon survives by stealing food from others. It erases its tracks with swipes of its tail as it makes off with its plunder. Alright, then we have Dream Ball. You can play this card only if you took it as a face-down prize card before you put it into your hand. Search your deck for Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. Alright, we have Shiftry. Shifted you. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, put it in all attached cards into your opponent's hand. Nepling Cyclone, 130 damage. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. It lives quietly in the deep forest. It is said to create chilly winter winds with the fans it holds. Then we have Start Type Energy. Then we have We have someone trying to interrupt me while I'm doing this, but that was a scammer, so no thank you. Next up we have Tentacruel. Wave Splash, Poisonous Prison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. During your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't retreat. It communicates with others of its kind by lighting up the red orbs on its head. When the orbs are blinking, it's a warning sign. Next we have Herdier. Tackle and Takedown. This Pokemon also does 20 damage to itself. It has been living with people for so long that portrayals of it can be found on the walls of caves from long, long ago. And finally, the Aroma Lady Trainer. Draw 2 cards. If you do, your active Pokemon recovers from all special conditions. You may play only 1 supported card during your turn. Alright. And finally, last pack. And let's see what we have. This one, for this one, another Lotad. We have Sableye. Go and collect. Search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Then we have Teddy Ursa. Just Scratch. Then we have Mareep with Rear Kick and Electro Ball. Rubbing its fleece generates electricity. You want to pet it because it's cute, but if you use your bare hand, you'll get a painful shock. Ooh. Yeah, definitely want to be careful with electric types. Then we have Zorora, Rear Kick. If a normally talkative child suddenly stops talking, it may have been replaced by Zorora. That one's a bit hard to pronounce. Then we have Stoutland. Intimidating Fame for its ability. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon attacks do 30 less damage. Knock away, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 100 more damage. Ooh. So a chance to do 220 damage. That's a lot. So, potentially one shot, if you get lucky enough. Its fur is long as fit. A long time ago, in cold regions, every household kept a Stoutland. Next, we have Gigalith. Guard Press. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 50 less damage from attacks. Pressure Shot, 180. This Pokemon also does 10 damage to itself for each damage counter on it. Then we have a green Grass-type energy card. Skiploom. Solar Evolution for its ability. When you attach an energy card from your hand to this Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. It spreads its petals to absorb sunlight. It also floats into the air to get closer to the sun. Then we have Elemental Badge Trainer card. If the Pokemon this card is attached to has Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Flareon in its name, the attacks cost less. And finally, Spirit Mask Trainer card. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and it's damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it is knocked out, your opponent discards a card from their hand. And there you go. Those are all the cards that are in these packs. So, like I said, definitely different type of video, but hopefully you found it interesting. And I will see you all later.